What is going on, guys? CrustyKs here from the Go Boys Network, coming to you with the college football slate preview for the Thursday-Friday slate. We missed out on the action games. That was unfortunate. Just had a pretty chaotic schedule as of late. So looking to jump into it now. We'll have a video for these and a video for Saturday for sure. Just happy to be back. So let's jump into this one. First one, Florida Atlantic traveling to East Carolina. I mean, Florida Atlantic, probably one of the worst teams in the FBS. Cam Fancher, probably one of the worst quarterbacks in the FBS. This is a team who played USF last week. I don't want to say like a rivalry game, but it is like an in-state game. So I imagine they were like at least up for it, motivated for it. And for a while, they kind of hung in there until USF kind of took over and just made it ugly. For me here, East Carolina minus 7.5. I mean, I think Fancher's that bad. I think FAU's that bad. And East Carolina's a team, they've kind of been a mixed bag. They had a really bad loss to Charlotte. But I think in this matchup, I think they're head and shoulders better than this Florida Atlantic team. So I will take East Carolina minus 7.5 at home. I think they handle business here. I wouldn't be surprised if Fancher turns it over. If you've watched this guy play, he is not good. And any time that Florida Atlantic has to rely on him to throw the ball, it doesn't go well. So look for East Carolina to handle business in this first one. I think it comes home with relative ease. The next one here, another Thursday game. App State taking on Coastal Carolina. Really interested to watch this game. Joey Aguilar, obviously quarterback for App State. Having a pretty good season. App State as a whole, they're playing better as of late. Definitely, I would say a bit of a disappointment though. Kind of same with Coastal Carolina, truthfully. They had their flashes. Started the season with a big win over Jacksonville State. And as of late, kind of playing poorly. Offense doesn't look as good. I believe their quarterback, is he game time decision? I can't. Yeah, so as of right now, he is expected to play, but obviously we'll see if, that happens or not. Regardless, though, I like App State here. The game's a pick 'em, so it's minus 110 both ways. App State on the road, obviously Coastal, the teal turf. It's a relatively tough place to play, but I just think right now you have two teams trending in like different directions. I want to take a shot here on App State, who I believe lost to Coastal the last couple meetings. Caden Robinson should have just an absolute monster game against this Coastal secondary. They are not good. Wouldn't be surprised if this game is a bit of a shootout, assuming Coastal's QB does play. But give me App State on the money line here to get this one done at a minus 110. If you're looking at player props, if you have player props in your state, I think this is a great Thursday night game to focus on player props. Like I said, it should be high scoring, totals at 61.5. And some really exploitable defense in this one for sure. So Caden Robinson, Braden Bennett, the running back for Coastal. Wouldn't be surprised if he has a big day. Just a really good spot here, like I said, for props. Really good spot for points. But give me App State to win the game.
Wait, before we get back to the picks, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Friends don't let friends watch videos without hitting the like button. So go ahead and press the thumbs up button and like the video. If you're new here and not subscribed, you should go ahead and do so because we're dropping new content each and every day on the Go Boys Network. We strive to cover every sport and give out picks and analysis and valuable information for free on the Go Boys Network. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop something new. I'm Brad Thomas. Let's get back to the picks.
Moving on to Friday, we actually have 4 Friday games. So pretty nice Friday slate here. First one, Cal traveling to Wake Forest. Total of 54.5. I was a little surprised to total this high, truthfully. And normally for me, like I would see a total that high and I want to jump in on the over. But I'm actually jumping on the under. If you look at Cal, they've played 2 games on the East Coast, I think it was. And both games have gone under with relative ease. Their defense has played pretty well in both of those. And while I don't think Wake Forest is a great defense, I do think Cal offense is very mediocre at best. And even if they do put up some points, I don't see Wake Forest scoring a ton on Cal. So give me the under 54.5 here. This game to me personally kind of screams like a 27-14 kind of game. Wouldn't be surprised if it's even lower than that, truthfully. Give me the under 54.5 in the Cal Wake Forest game. The next one, Iowa traveling to UCLA, laying 5.5 points on the road. I hate backing Iowa. I've backed them a couple times this year. I had success early in the season. I think the last time back then they lost outright to Michigan State on a very similar line. For me here, though, I think it is Iowa. Iowa minus 5.5. That's where I'm going to go. I love Brendan Sullivan. He looked really good against Wisconsin, and I think he just adds a different dimension to this offense that McNamara couldn't. Obviously, he can use his legs, which is big. UCLA has been playing better. I'm not going to say they haven't been. But in terms of stopping Iowa, I just don't think they have an answer for Caleb Johnson. And like I said, the ability of Brendan Sullivan to use his legs really kind of opens it up for Caleb Johnson even more, because before, you knew that Cade McNamara was going to hand it off, and you knew he wasn't going to run. So you didn't really have to respect any of like the goofy read option stuff because he's not running. Now Brendan Sullivan, you saw it in the Wisconsin game, he ran a lot, had a lot of success on the ground with his legs, and you have to game plan for that now, and it only makes Caleb Johnson better in my opinion. So give me Iowa minus 5.5. I think you could take rushing props across the board for any Iowa player. Like I said, Caleb Johnson, Brendan Sullivan. I think they both clear their rushing props. Love Iowa here.
Hey guys, I just want to give a quick reminder that new users can bet $5 at FanDuel on any of the bets in this video and win $150 in bonus bets if the bet wins. Now let's get back to the bets.
The next one, Rice taking on Memphis. Memphis a 9.5-point favorite. I'm a big Seth Hennigan guy until he decides to not do anything in the second half and just make me mad, which is pretty much every game. If you've watched Memphis, they're a great first half team. Offense always seems to be humming in the first half, and then the second half, it's like they just, I don't know. Regardless of how close the game is, it's like they just stop. Like, oh, we're good. We're done. One of the most frustrating teams to bet on, back, watch, whatever you want to call it. Definitely a frustrating team. Rice been playing considerably better since their bye week, like a lot better. I don't know that I necessarily wanted to, I think they keep it close. So Rice plus 9.5. It's a Friday night game. Memphis playing Rice. Memphis, one of those teams who I often say they don't get up for these kind of games. I feel like I've seen that firsthand with them. Been a part of it a couple times, actually. And this feels like one of those games where maybe they're kind of sleepy in it. And even if they're not, I think that Rice with E.J. Warner, this is a guy who can sling the rock. We saw it, I believe it was Temple he played it last year? He's hurt a couple times. I think it was Temple. Was it Temple? We'll go with Temple. I think I'm right. But yeah, I really just think that Rice can find success here. I really think they can. So I'm going to take a stab here at the Rice plus 9.5 on the road. Just haven't been impressed with the Memphis defense, truthfully. And if this game turns into a shootout, get 9.5 points is more than, I think is more than enough points. In terms of props, there actually was a prop in this game I was looking at that I loved. E.J. Warner, his passing yards at 249.5. I don't see how he doesn't throw for close to 300 in this game. Like I said, either they're chasing points and he has to throw, or they're in the game and they're going to run their offense, which is still E.J. Warner slinging it. So either way, he's throwing the ball. I think 249.5 is just a bit too low. Like I said, I would have had this closer like a 275.5, truthfully. Think he ends up close to 300. Moving on to the last game on this slate. This is a pretty gross one, I'm not going to lie to you. New Mexico traveling to San Diego State. San Diego State is a minus 2.5-point favorite. Total for this game, 66.5. That is 100% a New Mexico total. If you've watched these teams, New Mexico, they can score pretty often. They're a bit inconsistent, but they play like zero defense. So this game has all the makings of being high scoring, assuming that the offense can find some consistency. I'm not necessarily sure that it can. For me here, I like San Diego State on the money line. If you want to not pay that juice, I think you could lay the 2.5. I think that's more than fine. Really just think Marquez Cooper, the running back for San Diego State, has an absolute field day. You've watched this New Mexico team. They can't stop anything. So Marquez Cooper, his rushing line sitting at a whopping 105.5 right now. I still think it's too low. This matchup is prime. This matchup is fantastic for him. I think he runs all over this team. I mean, I do think New Mexico has some success. San Diego State, definitely not the defense that we saw in years past. Definitely a down year for them in terms of, just kind of what we've seen in recent history. But looking at this New Mexico team, they make a lot of mistakes. Devin Dampier, while he makes a lot of flashy plays, he also makes a lot of bad plays. And I think this is just a spot where you get San Diego State at home. You're going to get a game where they can kind of run their offense freely because New Mexico's not going to stop much. So give me San Diego State on the money line. Like I said, you want to lay the juice, I am more than fine with the minus 2.5. That does conclude the Thursday-Friday slate, though. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know. So obviously college basketball back in full swing here. We're going to start getting into some of these like tournaments, Maui Invitational, stuff like that, the NIL tournament end of November. Let me know if you guys want videos for those. If you guys want some picks for those, drop it in the comments of this video. And if we get enough, traction with that, I will definitely get some videos out for college basketball. As always, you can get all of my official plays at goldboys.com. If you have a gambling problem, don't want to hurt a gambler. Thank you guys.